They thought the cheap bed and free beer were just good luck. Alex and Sam were two normal guys from England. Alex was 24, tall and quiet, always checking his phone for cheap flights. Sam was 23, short, loud, and always laughing at his own jokes. They had been backpacking for 3 months. They had seen Spain, Italy, and Hungary. Now they were in a small bar in Budapest, Hungary. It was a hot evening in July 2024. The bar smelled of old cigarettes and cheap wine. They sat at a wooden table with 2 cold beers. Alex looked at the map on his phone. "We need a cheap place for a week," he said in a flat voice. "Money is almost gone." Sam nodded and took a long drink. "Yeah, man. Hostels here are €50 a night. Too much." A man at the next table heard them. He was about 40, thin, with a black beard and a slow smile. His name was Pavel. He wore a dirty blue jacket. He spoke English with a heavy accent. "You boys looking for cheap stay?" he asked. Alex and Sam looked at him. Pavel pulled his chair closer. "I know a place in Slovakia. Small town near the mountains. Hostel called The Friendly Stop. Only €10 a night. Clean beds. Free breakfast. Even free beer some nights. Locals are nice. Girls come too." He laughed a little. Sam's eyes got big. €10? For real? Pavel took out his phone and showed a photo. It was a simple building with yellow walls and a sign that said, "Hostel," in big letters. "My cousin works there. He says it is safe. Many backpackers go. No tourists, just real people. You take the bus from here. 3 hours. Very easy." Alex was careful. He always read reviews first. But his phone had no signal in the bar and the Wi-Fi was slow. "Sounds too good," he said. Pavel smiled again. "Sometimes good things are true. I give you the address. Tell them Pavel sent you. They give you extra discount." He wrote the address on a small paper with a pen. The paper was old and yellow. The writing was neat. Sam took the paper. "Thanks, mate. We go tomorrow." They talked more. Pavel told boring stories about his job driving a truck. He said the town had nice forests for walking. He said the food was cheap, bread, soup, potatoes. Nothing special. Alex listened but felt a little tired. Sam kept drinking and laughing. The night went on slow. They finished their beers. Pavel left after shaking their hands. His hand was cold. The next morning they woke up in their old hostel in Budapest. The room smelled of sweat and dirty socks. Alex packed his bag slowly. He put in 2 t-shirts, 1 pair of jeans, his toothbrush, and a small knife for fruit. Sam packed fast and talked the whole time. "This is going to be epic, bro. Cheap beer, maybe meet some girls from Germany." They took the bus at 10 in the morning. The bus was old and the seats were hard. The road was long and straight. They passed fields of corn and small villages. The driver played loud radio music in Slovak. Alex looked out the window most of the time. He thought about his family back home and how he would tell them about this cheap hostel later. Sam slept with his mouth open. After 3 hours, the bus stopped in a small town called Liptov. It was quiet. Only a few cars on the street. The air was cooler because of the mountains nearby. They walked 10 minutes with their heavy bags. The hostel was at the end of a quiet road. It looked exactly like the photo. Yellow walls, small windows, a wooden door. A sign said, "The Friendly Stop, Backpackers Welcome." A woman opened the door. She was about 50, short and round, with gray hair in a bun. Her name tag said, Maria. She smiled, but her eyes did not smile. "You are the English boys," Pavel called. "Come in." Inside it was simple. Old wooden floor. A big room with 6 beds. 2 beds were already taken by 2 other backpackers, a Dutch guy named Peter and a French girl named Claire. They looked normal. Peter was reading a book. Claire was writing in a diary. Maria gave them keys. €10 each. "Pay now. Breakfast at 8. No noise after 10. Her voice was flat. She took the money in cash and put it in a small box. "No receipt." Alex and Sam put their bags on the beds. The sheets were clean but old. The bathroom was down the hall. Cold water, one shower. Sam lay on his bed. This is perfect. So cheap. I love Pavel. Alex sat down and looked around. The room had one window that looked at the forest behind the building. The trees were thick and dark even in the day. He felt a small strange feeling but said nothing. It was just a normal hostel. Nothing dangerous. They ate dinner at a small cafe near the hostel. Soup and bread. It was okay, nothing special. They talked with Peter and Claire. Peter said he had been there 2 days. Quiet place. Good for rest. Claire said the same. They all went back early. That night Alex could not sleep well. The bed was hard. Outside, the forest was very quiet. No birds. No wind. He heard one small sound, like a door closing far away. But maybe it was nothing. He closed his eyes and thought about the next day. Maybe they would walk in the forest. Maybe meet more people. Everything felt normal. Boring even. Just another cheap stop on the road. The next morning started free slow. Beer were just Alex good luck. Woke up at 7:30 because of the hard two normal guys from His England. Back hurt a little. Alex was 24. Sam was still tall snoring and loudly, on always the next checking bed. His phone for the cheap room flights. Smelled of old wood. Sam was 23, from the bathroom down short, the hall. Loud. Peter and always Claire laughing at his own jokes. Peter sat on his bed, folding his clothes neatly. They had seen Claire Spain, was brushing her Italy, hair in front of a small mirror. Now on the wall. Were in a small bar Maria brought in Budapest at exactly 8 o'clock. It was a hot evening. It was simple. In July 2024. Slices of bread, butter, the bar smelled of old cigarettes and cheap weak coffee in plastic cups. They sat at a wooden table no with eggs, 2 cold beers. Alex fast, looked at the map on his phone. Flat voice. We need a kitchen place for a week at 8:30. He said in a flat voice. She did not smile. Money is almost They gone. All sat around the Sam one big table and took a long dining area. Yeah, the window showed hostels the same here thick are forest. €50 a night. The trees looked darker today because the sky was cloudy. Next table heard Sam them. Took big bites. He was about and 40 with his mouth full, with a black beard and a slow smile. His name was Pavel. Cheap food, right? He wore a dirty blue jacket. Nodded. He spoke English with a heavy accent. 4 days now. You boys looking for cheap quiet? He asked. Good for reading. Alex and Sam showed his book. It was a thick history book about old Europe. I know Claire a place she came for hiking, but the paths were now near the mountains. I walked yesterday. The friendly trees and more trees. Only €10 a night. People. Clean Alex beds. Drank his coffee. Free breakfast. It was bitter. Even free Did beer you meet some any nights. Locals? Locals are nice. Peter looked Girls at his book too. Only he at the small shop. Sam's eyes got big. €10 sometimes. For real. After breakfast, Pavel took out his phone to walk and showed a photo. It was a simple building with yellow walls. The road was narrow and had many small holes. Big letters. Old houses with faded paint stood on both sides. It is safe. Some windows had curtains closed even in the day. No tourists. A few dogs barked from behind fences. You take the bus from quickly. The air felt damp and cold for July. Alex was the small square in the center. He always read reviews. There was one cafe, but his phone had no cigarette and cigarettes, and the Wi-Fi was slow. That looked closed. Sounds too good. Sam bought some cheap local beer from a shop again. 6 cans Sometimes for very little money. Things are true. See, I give you the address. Everything Tell them Pavel here. Sent you. They give you extra discount. Laugh. They sat on a bench on a small paper with a pen. An old man walked past. The paper was old and yellow. He looked at them for a long time, then looked away. Took the paper. No one spoke to them. Alex felt the town was too quiet they for a Friday. More. Only Pavel 3 told boring stories about his job driving a truck. Claire wrote in her diary. He said the town had nice forests read for his walking. Book. He said the food was cheap and told the same jokes from yesterday. Potatoes. At noon, they went back to the hostel. Alex listened, Maria was cleaning the floor with a dirty mop. Sam kept drinking lunch and laughing. Soup if you want. The night went on slow. €5 extra. They finished their beers. They paid because they were hungry. After shaking their hands, was thin potato soup with some carrots. The next morning, they woke up in their old hostel while eating. A new guest arrived. Smelled of sweat. He was a dirty socks, maybe 50 years old. Packed his bag clean, slowly. Expensive clothes. He put in 2 black T-shirts that looked one pair of shiny shoes. His toothbrush. His hair was gray and cut short. Sam he spoke English perfectly the whole with a small accent. This is going to be epic. I am cheap Victor. Maybe meet some girls from Germany for business. They took the bus. He smiled at the group, but his eyes stayed on Alex, and the seats were hard. English the road was long and straight. Young people have fields of corn and small villages. Victor paid Maria. The driver played loud radio music. He took the last empty bed in their room. Alex looked out the window. When he put his bag down, Alex thought about his family back home and looked heavy, and how he would tell them about this cheap hostel later. After that, Sam sat on his bed and checked his phone. After 3 hours, the bus stopped in a small town called Liptov. In the afternoon, Sam wanted to drink more. Only a few cars outside the hostel on plastic chairs. The air was cooler because of the mountains nearby. He brought a bottle of strong local alcohol from his bag. The hostel was at the end of a quiet road. The drink looked exactly like the photo. Sam drank walls, 2 glasses, small windows, and became louder. A wooden door. He told stories about girls in Italy. Victor listened and smiled. A woman opened the door. Did not smile. She was about 50, you boys short and round, for fun, with gray hair in a bun. Her name tag said Maria. Claire went inside to write. She smiled, but her eyes said did not needed sleep and left. You are the English boys, but felt strange. Pavel called. Victor asked many small questions. It was simple. Where are you from exactly? Floor. Family. A big room with 6 beds. How long will you stay? 2 beds were already taken by 2 other backpackers. Alex gave short answers. A Dutch guy named Peter and a French girl named Claire. This hostel is special. Peter was reading a book and never want to leave. Claire was writing in a diary. The evening came slow. Maria gave them keys. They ate bread and cheese again for dinner. The forest behind the hostel became completely dark. No noise after 10. No lights from other houses. Was flat. Maria took the money in cash and put it in a small box. No going out after receipt. 10. Alex and Sam put their bags on the bed. It was normal. The sheets were clean. Alex woke up at 2 in the morning. Was down the hall. He needed cold water. One shower. The hall was dark. Sam lay on his bed. When he came back, he heard a small sound from Victor's bed, so cheap, like a phone vibrating. I love Pavel. Victor was awake. Alex sat down typing and something in the dark. The room had one window that looked at the forest behind the building. The first small worry. The trees were thick and dark. Why was this rich-looking man staying in a 10-year-old hostel? Strange feeling, but said nothing. Like a dead man. It was just a normal hostel. Smelled of the strong nothing alcohol. Dangerous. Outside, they ate dinner at a small cafe near the hostel. No wind, soup and bread. No animals. It was okay. Just quiet. Nothing special. Too quiet. They talked with Peter. The next 2 days passed. Peter said he had been there 2 days. They walked in the forest. Quiet place. The paths were muddy and ended suddenly. Claire said they saw no one. They all went back early. Every afternoon. That night Alex could not sleep well. Claire wrote. The bed was hard. Victor watched and smiled and asked more questions. Was very quiet. Maria cooked the same soup. No wind. The other 2 backpackers who were there when they arrived left like a door closing far away. They said goodbye quickly and took the afternoon bus. He closed his eyes and thought about the next day. But their faces looked tired. Maybe they would walk in the forest. On the 4th night, Alex found the first strange thing. Everything he went to throw rubbish in the bin behind the hostel. Just another cheap stop on the road. Under some food waste, he saw a small piece of paper. It was a torn train ticket. The name on it was not Slovak. It was in English letters. And there was dried brown spot on it, like old blood. Alex threw it back fast. He told himself it was nothing. Maybe from an old guest who cut his finger. But that night he could not sleep again. Victor was typing on his phone once more. The screen light was blue in the darkroom. Everything still felt normal. Boring. Just another cheap hostel with strange small things that could have many simple explanations. They thought the cheap bed the same free beer as the others were just good luck. Alex woke up with a stiff neck were from 2 normal guys from England. The room felt stuffy. Alex was 24, even though the window was open little. Always Sam was already sitting up, cheap flights, rubbing his eyes. Sam was complaining about a headache, short, strong alcohol the night before, always laughing at his own jokes. That stuff Victor gave us is like poison for 3 months. But they had seen Spain, Peter was gone Italy, from his bed, and Hungary. His bag now was they were in a small bar in Budapest. Claire was in the bathroom. It was a hot evening in July 2024. Maria brought the usual breakfast. The bar smelled of dry cigarettes, a little butter, wine, and the same weak coffee. They sat at a wooden table. She did not look at anyone in the eyes. Alex looked at the map on his phone. Then I cleaned the room. We need a cheap place for a week. Victor joined them at the table. Voice. He looked fresh in his clean shirt. Gone. Good morning, friends, and took a long drink. Sleep well. Yeah, man. He smiled his usual smile 50 that did not reach his eyes. Too much. He ate slowly, a man at the next cutting the bread into small pieces. He was about 40, today thin, nice with weather, a black beard and a slow smile. Maybe his name was deeper into the forest. He wore a dirty blue jacket. A good path. He spoke English with a heavy accent. An old cabin. You boys looking for cheap stay? Sit there. He asked. Sam liked the idea right away. At him. Yes. Pavel pulled his chair closer. I know a place in Slovakia. Claire said she would come too. Alex felt unsure, but did not want to stay alone at the hostel. Only 10 euros Peter a night. Came back from outside and said he would join for a short time. Even left free beer some nights. Maria gave them a small bag with bread and water too for the walk. He laughed a little. She charged 5 euros extra. €10. The path behind the hostel went straight into the
Pavel
thick trees.
took out his phone
and
showed a
was
photo.
soft with old leaves.
It was a simple
and
building
mud.
with yellow walls
It smelled of
and a
wet
sign
earth
that said
and something faint like
"Hostel"
smoke
in big letters.
but they could not see
My
any fire.
cousin works there.
They walked for
He says
1
it
hour.
is safe.
The trees
Many
blocked
backpackers
most of the
go.
sun. No
Sam
tourists
talked loudly
just
the
real
whole time
people.
about girls
You
he
take
met in
the bus
Spain.
from here.
Victor
3
listened
hours.
and asked questions.
Very easy.
Do your families
Alex
know
was
where
careful.
you are?
He
Do you
always
tell them
read
the name
reviews
of
first.
every hostel?
But his phone had no
Alex
signal in the
answered
bar,
short.
and the Wi-Fi
He
was
noticed
slow.
Victor's shiny
Sounds
shoes
too
got
good,
dirty,
but he
said.
did not seem to
Pavel
care.
smiled
They
again.
reached the old
Sometimes
cabin.
good things
It was
are
small,
true.
made of
I
dark
give
wood,
you the
with
address.
a broken window.
Tell them Pavel
the door
sent
was
you.
locked with a new
They give
metal
you
lock.
extra discount.
Strange. He
Victor
wrote the
said.
address on a
Last
small
time
paper
it
with
was
a pen.
open.
The
They
paper
sat on
was
the ground
old
outside
and yellow,
and drank the
the
cheap
writing
beer
was
Sam
neat.
carried.
Sam
It was
took
warm.
the paper.
Peter read
Thanks,
his
mate.
book quietly.
We go tomorrow.
Claire wrote a few lines
They
in her
talked
diary,
more.
then closed it
Pavel
fast.
told boring
Alex
stories
walked
about
around
his
the
job
cabin
driving
while
a
the
truck.
others rested.
He said the town
Behind
had
it,
nice
he saw
forests
fresh
for
tire
walking.
tracks in the mud.
He said the food was
Why
cheap.
tires?
Bread,
Like from a big
soup,
car or van.
potatoes. No
Nothing
grass grew
special.
there.
He
Alex
also
listened,
saw a small
but felt
piece of
a little
cloth
tired.
caught on a branch.
Sam kept
drinking
like
and
part
laughing.
of a backpack strap.
The night went
He
on
picked
slow.
it up. They had a
finished
small
their
dark
beers.
stain.
Pavel
He put
left
it in his
after
pocket
shaking
without
their
telling
hands.
anyone.
His hand
On the way
was
back,
cold.
Peter
The
said
next morning,
he was leaving
they
the
woke up
hostel
in their
tomorrow.
old hostel in
I have a
Budapest.
train to Prague.
The room smelled
Time
of
to
sweat
move.
and dirty socks.
His voice
Alex
sounded a
packed
bit
his
fast.
bag slowly.
Claire nodded.
He put in 2 T-shirts,
Maybe I go
1
too.
pair of jeans,
Victor
his toothbrush,
smiled.
and a small
You
knife
all
for
leave
fruit.
so soon.
Sam packed
The
fast
best nights
and talked
are
the
coming.
whole time. Locals
This is going
are
to be
planning
epic.
a small party
Bro, cheap
tomorrow
beer.
night. Maybe meet
Music,
some girls
more
from
cheap
Germany.
drinks.
Maybe
They
some
took the
girls
bus
from the
at
next
10
town.
in the morning.
Sam
the bus
got
was
excited,
old and the seats
Party.
were hard.
Count
The
me
road
in.
was long and
Back
straight.
at the hostel,
They
Alex
passed
tried
fields
to
of
check his
corn
phone
and small villages.
Signal was almost
the driver
zero.
played loud
He
radio
went
music
outside
in
to
Slovak.
find better signal
Alex
near the road.
looked out the window
While standing
most
there,
of the time.
he saw a black
he thought
van
about his
drive
family back
past
home
slowly,
and how he would tell
the
them
windows
about this
were
cheap
dark.
hostel later.
It stopped for a
Sam
few
slept
seconds
with
near
his
the
mouth
hostel,
open,
then drove
After
away.
3 hours, the bus
driver
stopped in a
looked
small
at him.
town called
Alex
Liptov.
felt cold for a
It
moment,
was quiet,
but told himself it
only
was
a
nothing.
few cars
That
on the
evening
street.
dinner was
The
the
air
same
was
potato
cooler
soup.
because of the mountains
Maria
nearby.
added a little meat
They
this
walked
time.
10 minutes with
It
their
tasted
heavy
okay,
bags.
but the meat was
the hostel
chewy and
was
strange.
at the end of a quiet
Victor
road.
paid for
It looked
everyone's
exactly
dinner.
like the photo.
My treat.
Yellow walls,
You are
small
good
windows,
company.
a wooden door.
While eating,
a sign
Alex
said
noticed
the
Claire's
friendly
hands
stop.
were shaking a little.
Backpackers welcome.
She said she was cold.
A woman opened
After
the door.
dinner, Alex
She was
went
about
to the
50,
bathroom, short and
the door
round,
to the basement
with gray
was
hair
usually
in a bun.
closed.
Her name
Today
tag
it
said
was open
Maria.
a few centimeters.
She smiled,
He looked
but her
inside
eyes did
quickly.
not smile.
It was dark.
You are
but
the
he saw
English
metal
boys.
shelves and something on
Pavel
the floor
called.
that looked like old
Come
ropes
in.
and a chair with
Inside,
straps.
it was simple.
He closed the
Old
door
wooden
fast
floor.
and went back to the
A
room.
big room with
he
6
did
beds.
not tell Sam.
2 beds were
Sam
already
was
taken
already
by 2
drinking
other
again
backpackers.
with Victor.
A Dutch
Night
guy named
came.
Peter and a
The
French girl
forest
named
was
Claire.
silent as always.
They looked normal.
At 11 o'clock,
Peter
Alex
was reading
heard a
a
van
book
outside.
Claire was
Doors
writing
opened
in a diary.
and closed quietly.
Maria gave them
Footsteps.
keys.
10
Then
euros
nothing.
each.
He stayed
Pay
awake
now.
for a long
Breakfast
time.
at 8.
Victor was
No
typing
noise
on his
after
phone
10.
again in the dark.
Her voice
The
was
blue
flat.
light made his face
She took
look
the money
different.
in cash
Harder.
and put it in a small
The
box.
next morning, Peter
no
was
receipt.
gone.
His
Alex
bed
and
was
Sam
empty
put
and
their
the
bags
sheets
on
were
the
folded.
beds.
No
the sheets
goodbye.
were clean, but
Claire
old.
said she could
The
not
bathroom
find her
was down
phone.
the hall.
I
Cold
left it
water,
on my bed.
one shower.
Now it is
Sam
gone.
lay on his bed.
Maria said,
"This is
Maybe
perfect.
you dropped it in the forest.
So cheap." She
I
did
love
not look
Pavel.
worried.
Alex
Victor
sat down
announced
and looked
the party.
around.
The
Tonight
room had
at
one
8.
window that
in the
looked
big
at the
room
forest behind the
downstairs.
building.
Locals
The trees
were
were
thick
thick
and dark,
very
even in the
friendly.
day.
He felt
You
a
will
small,
like it.
strange feeling,
Sam
but said
was
nothing.
happy.
It
Alex
was
felt
just a
a worry
normal
growing,
hostel,
but it was still small,
nothing
like a
dangerous.
dull pain in the stomach.
They ate dinner.
Everything
at a small
was still
cafe
normal
near
on the
hostel.
surface.
Cheap
Soup
food
and bread.
boring talks.
It was okay.
Slow days.
Nothing special.
But now the small
They
things
talked
were
with
adding
Peter
up.
and Claire.
The locked cabin.
Peter said he had
the
been
tire
there 2
tracks.
days.
The basement.
Quiet place.
The missing phone.
Good for rest.
The quiet
Claire
departures.
said the same. same. They all went back early. That night Alex could not sleep well. The bed was hard. Outside, the forest was very quiet. No birds. No wind. He heard one small sound, like a door closing far away. But maybe it was nothing. He closed his eyes and thought about the next day. Maybe they would walk in the forest. Maybe meet more people. Everything felt normal. Boring even. Just another cheap stop on the road. The party night started slowly, like everything else in this place. Alex and Sam
spent the
were
whole
two
day
normal
feeling
guys
heavy
from
in
England.
his stomach.
Alex was
He did
24,
not say
tall
much
and
to
quiet.
Sam.
Always
Sam was
checking his
excited
phone for
and
cheap
drank
flights.
2 cans of beer
Sam
before
was
8
23,
o'clock.
short,
"This is what
loud,
we came for,"
and always
bro,
laughing
free
at his
drinks,
own jokes.
locals.
They had been
fun.
backpacking for 3
At
months.
7:30 Maria
They had
opened
seen
the door
Spain,
to the basement,
Italy, and Hungary.
She had cleaned it a
Now
little.
they were in a
There
small
were
bar
old plastic
in
chairs
Budapest,
in a circle.
Hungary.
One long
It was
table
a hot
with
evening
bottles of
in
the strong
July
local
2024.
alcohol, some bread,
The bar smelled
and plates
of
of
cold
cold
cigarettes
meat that
and
looked
cheap
great.
wine.
A small
They
radio
sat at a wooden
played
table
weak
with
Slovak
2
music.
cold beers.
The light was
Alex
yellow
looked
and
at the
dim
map
from
on
his
his
phone.
phone.
"We
We
need
need
a
a
cheap
cheap
place
place
for a week,"
concrete,
he
and
said
something
in a flat
metallic.
voice.
Victor
Money
stood
is
near the
almost
table
gone.
like he was the
Sam
host.
nodded and took
he
a
wore
long
his
drink.
clean black jacket
"Yeah, man.
again. Hostels
Welcome,
here
friends.
are 50 euros
Sit.
a night.
The locals
Too much.
will come soon."
A man at the
Claire
next
sat
table
in
heard
the corner.
them. He was
She
about
looked pale
pale
and
and
thin,
kept touching
with
her
a black
pockets
beard
as if
and
still
a slow
searching
smile.
for her phone.
His name
Alex
was
sat
Pavel.
next to Sam.
He wore a
The
dirty
chair
blue
was
jacket.
hard and cold.
He spoke English
First only
with a heavy
2
accent.
local men came.
"You boys
They were
looking
around
for cheap
40,
stay?"
thick
he
bodies,
asked.
short hair,
Alex and
wearing
Sam
dark
looked at him.
jackets.
Pavel
They did not
pulled his
smile.
chair closer.
They spoke
"I
little
know a
English.
place in Slovakia."
One said,
"Good
small
to see
town
new
near
faces."
the mountains.
They
Hostel
drank fast
called
and watched
the
the
friendly
backpackers.
stop.
Only
Then a
10
woman
euros a
arrived.
night. She
Clean
was thin,
bins, maybe 35,
free breakfast,
with red lipstick
even
that
free
looked
beer
too bright.
some nights.
She sat
Locals
close to
are
Sam
nice.
and laughed at his
Girls
jokes,
come
even
too.
when they were not
He
funny.
laughed a little.
More people came.
Sam's eyes got
6 in
big.
total.
10
All
euros.
adults, no
For
young
real.
people.
Pavel
They
took
brought
out his
more
phone
bottles.
and showed a photo.
The music stayed
It was a
low.
simple building with
Victor
yellow
poured
walls
drinks
and a sign
for
that
Alex
said
and Sam.
"Hostel" in
Try
big
this
letters.
mix.
My
It is
cousin works
special.
there.
Alex
He says
took
it
one
is
small
safe.
sip. Many
It tasted
backpackers
sweet
go
at first,
no
then bitter.
tourists. Just
Sam
real
drank
people.
2 full glasses
You take
quickly.
the bus from here.
His face became
3
red
hours,
and his voice louder.
very easy.
The talk was
Alex
boring
was
at
careful.
first.
He
The locals
always
read
asked the
reviews
same
first,
questions Victor
but
always
his phone
asked.
had no signal in the
Where
bar,
from?
and the Wi-Fi was
How
slow.
long
traveling?
Sounds too
Family
good,
know
he
you
said.
here.
Pavel
Alex
smiled
gave short
again
answers and tried to drink
Sometimes
only
good
water
things are
after
true.
the first glass.
I give you
He
the
felt
address.
a little dizzy, but
Tell
told himself
Pavel
it was
sent
the
you.
bad air in the
They
basement.
give you extra
At
discount.
9:31 of the
He
local
wrote
men
the address
took Claire
on a small
to talk
paper
in the corner
with a pen.
She looked
The paper was
uncomfortable,
old
but went
and
yellow.
Alex
The
could
writing
not
was
hear
neat.
what they said.
Sam took
Sam
the
was
paper.
dancing badly
Thanks,
with
mate.
the thin woman.
We go
His
tomorrow.
movements were slow
They
and
talked
sloppy.
more.
Victor
Pavel
watched
told
everything
boring
with
stories
calm
about
eyes.
his job driving
Alex
a truck.
stood up to go
He
to
said
the
the
bathroom
town had
upstairs.
nice forests for
His
walking.
legs felt
He
heavier
said the
than
food
normal.
was cheap.
When he
Bread,
came back down the
soup,
stairs,
potatoes.
he saw the basement
Nothing
door was now
special.
closed from inside.
Alex listened,
He
but
pushed
felt
it
a little
open
tired.
a little.
Sam
kept
was
sitting
sitting
on a
and
chair.
laughing. His
The
head
night
went
went
down
on
slow.
The thin
They
woman
finished
was
their
whispering
beers.
something to
Pavel
him.
left after
Claire was
shaking
not
their
in
hands.
the room anymore.
His hand
Where
was
is
cold.
Claire?
The next
Alex
morning, they
asked
woke up
loudly.
in their old hostel
Victor
in
turned
Budapest.
slowly. The room
She
smelled
felt
of
tired
sweat and dirty socks.
Went to sleep early.
Alex packed his
Don't
bag
worry.
slowly. His
He put
smile
in 2
was the same.
t-shirts.
One
One
pair of
local
jeans,
man stood
his
up and
toothbrush,
closed the
and
door
a small
again.
knife for fruit.
Alex sat
Sam
back
packed
down.
fast and
The
talked
music
the whole
felt
time.
slower now.
This is going to be
His own
epic.
thoughts
Bro,
were
cheap
moving
beer.
slow.
Maybe meet
He
some
looked at the
girls
floor
from Germany.
and saw a small dark
They took the
stain
bus
near the wall.
at 10 in the morning.
It looked like dried
The bus
blood
was
that
old
someone
and the
tried to
seats
clean.
were hard.
Time
The
passed.
road was long and
10:30.
straight.
They
11.
passed fields of
Sam
corn
could not
and small
stand
villages.
properly.
The driver
locals
played
helped him
loud
up the
radio
stairs
music
to the
in
room.
Slovak.
Alex
followed.
looked out the window
His head
most
hurt.
of the time.
In the bedroom,
He thought
Sam
about his
fell
family
on his
back
bed
home
like a
and how
dead
he
weight.
would tell them about
He
this
was
cheap
breathing,
hostel
but
later.
did not wake when
Sam
Alex
slept
shook
with
him.
his mouth open.
Victor came
After
in
3
later.
hours, the bus
He
stopped
drank
in a
too
small
much.
town called
Normal
Liptov.
for young men.
It was quiet.
Then Victor
Only
left
a few
the room.
cars on the
Alex
street.
tried to
The
stay
air was
awake.
cooler because of the
He lay
mountains
on his
nearby
bed with clothes
They
on.
walked 10 minutes
The forest
with their heavy
outside
bags.
was completely
The
black.
hostel was at
At
the
around
end of
1
a quiet
in the morning,
road.
he heard the
It
sound
looked
of a
exactly
van
like
again.
the photo.
Doors,
Yellow walls,
quiet
small
voices,
windows, a wooden
then
door.
a short cry,
A sign
like
said,
a woman's voice.
"The friendly stop.
Cut off fast.
Backpackers
After
welcome."
that, silence.
A woman opened
He wanted
the door.
to check on Claire.
She was
but
about
his body
50,
felt too
short
heavy.
and round,
The
with
drink.
gray hair in a
It
bun.
must have been the
Her
drink.
name tag said
He fell into
Maria.
a shallow sleep full of
She
dull
smiled,
dreams
but
about
her
buses
eyes did
and
not
empty
smile.
roads.
You
Morning
are the
of the
English
English
sixth
boys.
day.
Pavel
Alex
called.
woke up late.
Come in.
His head
Inside
pounded.
it was simple.
Sam was still asleep.
Old wooden floor.
snoring loudly.
A big
face
room
pale.
with 6 beds.
Claire's bed.
2
was
beds were
empty.
already taken
Her
by
bag
2 other
was gone.
backpackers.
Maria
A Dutch
came
guy
with
named
breakfast
Peter
and
and
a
a
French
French
girl
girl
named Claire.
The French girl
They
left
looked
early
normal.
for the bus.
Peter was
She
reading
said,
a
"Thank
book.
you."
Claire
Maria's
was writing
voice was
in a
flat.
diary. No
Maria
other
gave them
explanation.
keys.
Victor
10 euros
was at the
each.
table eating
Pay
bread.
now.
Said she
Breakfast
left
at 8.
without goodbye.
No noise
But
after
that
10.
is travel life.
Her voice was
He looked
flat.
at Alex
She
carefully.
took the money in cash
You look
and
tired.
put it in a small box.
Maybe rest today.
No receipt.
No walking.
Alex and Sam
Alex
put their
went
bags
outside
on the
alone
beds.
after breakfast.
The sheets were clean,
The signal
but
on his
old.
phone was still
The
bad,
bathroom was
but
down
he
the
found
hall.
one small
Cold
bar
water,
near the square.
one shower.
He typed a message
Sam
to
lay
his brother
on his
back in
bed.
England.
This
Hostel
is
in
perfect.
Slovakia strange.
So cheap.
Name the
I
friendly
love
stop.
Pavel.
Alex sat down and looked around. Reply tomorrow. The room had one window that looked at the forest behind the building. But it showed only one. The trees were thick and dark even in the day. Back at the hostel, he felt a small strange feeling again when Maria was outside. It was just a normal hostel. The door was locked now with nothing dangerous. He looked in the bin behind a small cafe near the hostel. Rubbish. But he saw a small silver earring. It was okay. It looked like special. One Claire wore. They talked with Peter and Claire. He put it in his pocket. Peter said he had been shaking there 2 days. Sam woke up at noon. Good for rest. I feel like shit. Claire said the same. What happened last night? They all went back early. He laughed weakly. That night Alex could not sleep well, but blurry. The bed was hard. He did not remember outside. The forest was very quiet. They stay another night. No birds. Tomorrow there is a big market in next town. He heard one small sound. I can drive you. Like a door closing far away. Alex said nothing. But maybe the worry was no longer small. He closed his eyes sat in his thought about the next day. Like a dull stone. Maybe everything still looked in the forest. Same soup for lunch. More people. Same quiet forest. Everything felt cheap prices. Boring. But now he knew. Just another something was very wrong with this hostel. People came here cheap and happy. Some left. Some did not. And the ones who stayed longer were being watched. The seventh day felt heavier than the ones just before. Good luck. Alex woke up with a dry mouth two normal guys that would not go away. Alex was 24, smelled of old tall sweat, and quiet, and the cheap alcohol always checking his phone for cheap flights. Sam was still in bed. Sam was 23, eyes half open, short, saying loud, he felt weak, and always laughing at his own jokes. Meat at the party was bad. They had been backpacking for 3 months. I don't want to move Spain. Today. Italy, Maria and brought Hungary. Breakfast at the now usual they were time. In a small bar bread, in Budapest, butter, Hungary, weak coffee. It was a hot evening she moved in July 2024. Her face, the bar smelled of old cigarettes. Victor was and already at the table. They sat at a wooden table with 2 cold beers. Today I can take you to the next town in my car. We need a cheap place for a week. Fresh food in a flat voice. Better than here. Money is almost gone. He said it like it was a normal kind offer and took a long drink. Alex shook his head. Man. No hostels here are 50 euros a night. He did not trust Victor anymore. A man at the next table after breakfast, Alex told Sam he was about quietly, 40, thin, something is wrong with a black here. Beard and a Claire slow left smile. Without her earring. His name was Peter. Pavel. Left without he saying wore a real dirty goodbye. Blue jacket. We need to leave spoke today. English with a heavy accent. Sam laughed a little. You boys looking for cheap stay. You are too careful, man. Alex and Sam is just a cheap hostel. Pavel pulled his chair closer, but the price is good. I know a place in Slovakia. He drank the coffee and lay down again near the mountains. Alex decided to check the town alone. The friendly stop. He walked to the small square. Night. The same old man was sitting on the bench. Free breakfast. This time Alex even went free close beer and some asked, nights. Do you know about the hostel? Are nice. The friendlies come too. The old man looked at him with small eyes. Sam's eyes got nothing. He stood up and walked away fast. Real. At the shop, the woman behind the counter showed a photo. Gave him the bread he asked for. It was a simple building with yellow walls. Her hand shook said when she took the money in big letters. He tried his phone again. My cousin works there. The message to his brother still showed only one backpackers go. No internet. No tourists. He walked further down the road. You take the bus from here. There he saw the black van parked behind some trees. Alex, 2 men were loading something covered with red reviews into the back. But his phone had no signal in the bar, and the Wi-Fi was slow and stopped. Sounds too good. One man shouted something in Slovak and waved him away. Sometimes good things are true. Fast. I give you the address, harder, but everything still looks normal on the surface. They give you extra discount. The hostel. Sam was wrote the address on a small paper with a pen. He went the paper was to see the car. And yellow. They will the writing was neat. Alex took the paper. 1 hour, mate. 2 hours. We go tomorrow. No, Sam. They talked more. He searched the whole building. told boring stories. The basement door about his was job still driving with a padlock. He said the town had nice sound for behind for walking, like a metal chair. He said the food was cheap. Then bread, quiet again. Soup, potatoes. Alex went to the forest path. Special. He followed the tire tracks, but felt a little tired. They went deeper than drinking and laughing. After 30 minutes, he found a second building. They finished their beers. It was hidden behind Pavel thick trees. Left after shaking their hands. Walls. No his windows, hand was cold. A strong metal door. The next morning, they woke up in their old hostel. Near the door, he saw fresh cigarette butts. The room smelled of sweat and dirty socks. It was a torn passport packed his bag slowly. The photo was half gone. He put in 2 t-shirts, he could see it was a young pair of jeans, maybe Dutch, his toothbrush, and a small knife for fruit. Alex put it in his pocket fast and talked his the whole time. His hands were cold. This is going to be epic. When he returned, it was already evening. Maybe meet some girls from Germany. Was back. They took the bus at 10 in the morning. The bus was old at a doctor and the seats in the next town. The road was long and straight. Don't they worry. Passed fields of corn. Victor's voice small was villages. Calm. His driver played loud radio music in Slovak. Alex said nothing. Alex looked out the window Maria gave him. He thought about his family back home, now he and how he would tell them about this cheap hostel. After dinner, he went to his room with his mouth open. He packed his bag. After 3 hours, the bus stopped in a small town called the small knife The
It was
earring,
quiet.
the passport piece,
Only a few
and the
cars
cloth
on the
cabin.
street.
He
The
decided
air was
to leave
cooler
at night
because of
when
the mountains
everyone
nearby.
At
They
10
walked
o'clock,
10
Maria
minutes
locked
with
their
their
heavy
front door,
bags.
as always.
The hostel
Alex
was at
lay
the end
on
of
his
a quiet
bed with
road.
clothes on.
It looked exactly
He
like the
waited.
photo. Victor
Yellow
came
walls,
to the room
small
at 11.
windows, a wooden
He looked
door.
at Alex's
A
bed.
sign said,
"The
"Sleep
friendly
well.
stop. Tomorrow
Backpackers
will be
welcome."
better."
A
Then
woman
Victor
opened
went
the
out.
door.
Alex
She was
waited
about 50,
until 1
short
in the
and
morning,
round,
with
the
gray
hostel
hair in
was
a
silent.
bun. Her name
He took his
tag
bag
said and went
Maria.
to the window. It
She
was small,
smiled,
but
but
her
he could
eyes
climb
did
out.
not smile. The forest
"You
was
are
black.
the English boys."
He dropped his bag
Pavel
first.
called.
It made
"Come
a
in."
soft sound
Inside
on the wet
it
leaves.
was simple.
Then he
Old
climbed
wooden
out.
floor.
His
A
big
big
room
touched
with
the
6
ground.
beds. He
Two
started
beds were
walking
already
toward
taken
the road.
by 2 other
He had gone
backpackers.
only 50
A
meters
Dutch guy
when he
named
heard
Peter
the van
and a French
engine
girl
start
named
behind
Claire.
the hostel.
They looked
Lights
normal.
came on. Peter
The
was
van
reading
moved
a book.
fast.
Claire
Alex
was writing
ran into
in a
the
diary.
trees.
Maria
Branches
gave
hid
him
his
keys.
face.
10
His
euros
bag
was
each.
heavy.
Pay
He
now.
heard men
Breakfast
shouting.
at 8.
One voice
No
was
noise
Victor's.
after 10.
He is in
Her
the
voice
forest.
was flat.
Find him.
She took the money
Alex
in cash
hid behind
and put it
a
in a
thick
small
tree.
box. The van
No
lights
receipt.
moved between
Alex
the trees.
and Sam put
He
their
stayed
bags on
very
the beds.
still.
The
His
sheets
breathing
were clean
was loud
but old.
in his own ears.
The bathroom was down
After
the hall.
10 minutes, the
Cold
lights
water
went away.
One shower.
He waited
Sam
longer.
lay on his bed.
Then he started walking
This is
again toward
perfect.
the main road.
So cheap.
His legs
I
felt
love
tired.
Pavel.
The
Alex
path
sat
was
down
muddy
and looked around.
He reached the road.
The room
at
had
3
one
in the
window
morning
that looked at the
no
forest
cars
behind the building.
He walked along
the trees
the side.
were thick and dark.
After
even
1
in the
hour,
day.
a small truck
He felt
came.
a small strange
He
feeling,
waved,
but said nothing.
The driver stopped.
It was just a
It
normal
was an old
hostel.
man going to
Nothing
the city.
dangerous.
Alex paid him
They
20
ate dinner
euros
at a
to
small
take him to the
cafe
bus
near the
station.
hostel.
The driver
Soup
did
and
not
bread.
ask questions.
It was okay.
At the bus
Nothing
station,
special.
the first bus to
They
Budapest
talked with
was
Peter
at 6.
and Claire.
Alex
Peter
waited
said
inside
he had been
the
there
cold
2
room.
days.
His clothes
Quiet
were
place.
dirty. He
Good
had
for
cuts
rest.
on his hands from
Claire
the branches.
said the same.
He still
They
had his
all
phone,
went back
but no
early.
signal.
That night
He sat
Alex
on the
could
plastic
not
chair
sleep well.
and thought about Sam.
The bed was hard.
He felt bad for
Outside,
leaving him, but
the
he
forest
knew he
was
had to
very
get help.
quiet. The bus
No
came.
birds. Alex
No
got
wind.
on. He heard
He looked
one
out the
small
window
sound
as the small
like a
town
door
disappeared
closing far away.
The mountains
but
looked
maybe
the same.
it was nothing.
Quiet.
He closed his
Normal.
eyes and thought
But
about
he
the
knew
next
the
day.
truth now.
Maybe
The
they
friendly
would walk
stop
in the
was
forest.
not a normal hostel.
Maybe meet more
Rich
people.
people came there
Everything
to pay
felt
for pain.
normal. They
Boring
paid to hurt
even.
young travelers
Just
who
another
came for
cheap
cheap stop
beds.
on the road. Victor and Maria and the locals worked for them. They chose the ones with no close family, the ones who stayed longer. The basement and the hidden building were for the bad things. Alex closed his eyes on the bus. He was safe for now. But Sam was still there. And many others would come after them. Alex sat on the bus as it moved slowly through the mountains. Alex and Sam were 2 normal guys. Every few minutes, the bus stopped. Alex was 24,
villages.
tall and quiet.
Old women got
always
on
checking
with
his
bags
phone
of
for cheap
vegetables.
flights.
No one
Sam was
looked at him.
23. His
Short,
clothes
loud,
were still dirty
and always
from the
laughing
forest.
at his own jokes.
His hands had
They had
dried
been
blood from the
backpacking
branches.
for 3 months.
He kept looking
They
back,
had seen
but
Spain,
no black van
Italy,
followed.
and Hungary.
The driver played
Now
the
they
same
were in a
loud
small
radio
bar
music
in
as when they
Budapest,
came.
Hungary.
Everything
It was
felt
a hot
normal
evening
again
in
July
Boring.
2024. It took
The
5
bar
hours
smelled
to
of
reach
old cigarettes
Budapest.
and cheap wine.
Alex got off
They
at
sat
the main
at a wooden
station.
table with 2
His
cold
legs
beers.
were stiff. Alex
He found
looked
a
at the
cheap
map
internet
on his
cafe
phone.
near the station.
We need a cheap place
He
for a
paid
week,
€2,
he said
and
in a
sat
flat
at an
voice.
old computer.
Money
The
is
chair
almost
was hard.
gone. He
Sam
opened his
nodded
email
and took
wrote
a
a long
drink.
message to his brother
Yeah,
and
man.
to the British Embassy.
Hostels here
He
are
told
50
everything.
euros a
The
night.
cheap hostel.
Too much.
Pavel in Budapest.
The man at the
Victor,
next table
Maria
heard them.
The party.
He was about
Claire's
40,
earring,
thin,
the passport
with a
piece,
black beard
the hidden
and a
building,
slow smile.
the sounds at night.
His name
He
was
scented.
Pavel.
Then he
wore
searched
a dirty
online
blue
for
jacket.
the friendly
He
stop
spoke
Liptov
English
with
with
a
a
heavy
heavy
accent.
accent.
You boys
Only
looking for
3
cheap
old
stay?
reviews came
he
up.
asked.
All
Alex
said,
and
cheap
Sam
and
looked
quiet.
at him. Pavel
Nothing
pulled his
bad.
chair closer.
One review from
I know
6
a
months
place
ago
in
said,
Slovakia,
perfect for rest,
small town
friendly
near the
staff.
mountains.
Alex
Alex
felt
felt
cold.
the friendly
He
stop.
knew the truth,
Only
but no one
10
else
euros
would believe
a
him
night.
easily.
Clean beds.
He booked a flight home
free
for
breakfast.
the next day. Even
He still
free
had
beer
some money
some
left.
nights.
That
Locals
night he
are
stayed
nice.
in a big hostel
Girls
in
come
Budapest
too.
with many people.
He laughed a little.
The room had 10
Sam's
beds.
eyes got big.
Everyone
Everyone talked loud and drank beer.
For real.
Alex
Pavel
took out his phone and showed a photo
about Sam.
It was a simple
He
building
felt
with
guilty,
yellow walls
but also
and a sign
glad
that
he
said,
escaped.
Hostel. The next
in
morning,
big letters.
he took a taxi
My
to the
cousin
airport.
works there.
The driver
He
talked
says
about
it is
football
safe.
the whole way.
Many backpackers
Normal
go.
life. No
2
tourists,
days later,
just
Alex
real
was back
people.
in England.
You take
His
the bus
mother
from
hugged
here.
him at the airport.
3 hours.
She said he
Very
looked thin.
easy.
He
Alex
told her
was
the
careful.
story slowly.
He always
She
read
thought he
reviews
was
first,
tired from travel,
but his phone had
his
no
brother read
signal
the
in the
email
bar
and
and the
said,
Wi-Fi was
"It
slow.
sounds like a bad dream.
Sounds too good.
Maybe
he
you
said.
drank too much."
Pavel smiled
The
again.
embassy sent a short
Sometimes
reply.
good things
"We will
are
check."
true. I give you the address. But Alex could not forget you. 3 weeks later, a news story appeared on a small website. He wrote the address on a small paper with a pen. One British, the paper was French, old and yellow. Were found dead near a forest in Slovakia. Sam the police said the paper. Accident while hiking. Mate. We go tomorrow. Were not given. They talked Alex more. Knew. Pavel told boring Claire. Stories about his job in his driving a truck, but no one understood. He said the town had nice tried to tell the police in England. He said the food was cheap, but said there was no proof. Soup, potatoes. Many young travelers disappear every year. Alex listened, the horror but felt a little tired. In the hidden building behind the friendly stop, the real story continued for others. They finished their beers. Was not a normal man. Pavel left after shaking their hands. Of very rich people from different countries. The next morning, they woke up in their old hostel in Budapest. Men and women who had everything but wanted one thing more. To feel Alex packed his bag slowly. They paid huge money to come to this quiet Slovakian town. His toothbrush, the hostel was a small knife for fruit. Pavel in Budapest packed fast. Maria and talked the whole time. All this part is going to be epic. They chose young backpackers, maybe meet some girls from Germany. Family contacts. They took the bus at 10 in the morning. Cheap beds and the bus was old, and the seats were hard. In the basement and the road was long. They did slow. Terrible things. Fields of corn. Sam woke up in a small room with no windows. The driver played loud radio music. His hands and feet were tied to a metal chair. Alex looked out the window most of the time. He thought about his family back home and how he would tell them about this German who paid 10,000 euros for this night. With his mouth open. They did not shout. After 3 hours, they talked in calm small town called Liptov. They used tools slowly. It was quiet. Knives, only wires, a few cars on the street. Sam the air was cooler many because of the mountains nearby. They recorded it. They walked 10 minutes with their heavy bags to watch the fear grow slowly. The hostel was at the end of a quiet road. It looked exactly like the photo. That was yellow the point. Walls, small Maria windows, brought food sometimes. The sign potato said, soup. The friendly stop. She did not look at their welcome. Other backpackers came after Alex left. She was about 50, a Swedish girl, short and round, 2 Americans, with gray hair, another English boy. Her name tag they all said thought it was Maria. Just a cheap hostel. She smiled, some but her eyes did not smile. Some too. You are the English the elite boys. Sadists came on Pavel weekends called. In black vans with dark windows. Inside it was they wore masks sometimes, old wooden but not floor. Always. A big they room paid with extra 6 beds for special requests. 2 beds were already taken by 2 other backpackers. Hid many graves. A Dutch guy named Peter and a French girl named Claire. The locals knew, but they stayed quiet normal because of the money. Peter was reading the police in the town took Claire their share. Was writing in Alex a diary. Tried to forget. Maria but could gave not. Them keys. He started a small blog with the story. Pay now. Only a few people read it. 8. One day, he got a message from an unknown email. Her voice was Stop writing, or you will come back. She took the money in cash and put it in a small box. The blog. No years receipt. Later, Alex was 30. And Sam put their bags on the beds. Office. The sheets were clean but old. Boring days. The bathroom was down every the hall. Night when it was quiet, water, he remembered the yellow hostel. The thick Sam lay on his the dull soup. Victor's smile that never reached his eyes. Cheap. He knew the place was still there. Alex sat down and looked around. Still came for the room had price. One window that looked at the forest behind the building. In Budapest, the trees were thick and dark not even in the day. It was he slow, felt a small, strange feeling, and but real. Said nothing. It waited in simple places normal with hostel, low prices and friendly words. Dangerous. And somewhere in Slovakia, at a small cafe near the hostel. Drove at night. Soup new and rich guests arrived. It was okay. New nothing special. Were cut short. They talked with new Peter graves and were Claire. Dug in the soft Peter forest said ground. He had been there the 2 friendly days. Stop was still quiet open. Place. Good for rest. Claire said the same. They all went back early. That night Alex could not sleep well. The bed was hard. Outside, the forest was very quiet. No birds. No wind. He heard one small sound, like a door closing far away. But maybe it was nothing. He closed his eyes and thought about the next day. Maybe they would walk in the forest. Maybe meet more people. Everything felt normal. Boring even. Just another cheap stop on the road.